Hello, collective. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and today we're going to do a funky, all over the place collective reading. Just like a kind of, we're going to think of what our question is for the universe, and we're going to go with it. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to start with a Thoth card. I'm just going to flip through, pick one. Okay, of course we have the sun. Of course, we have this solar card, the sun. We are just being bombarded, aren't we? Solar flare after solar flare. The storms have been wild, not all of them hitting us, but definitely some of them are, right? The last couple days, right now I'm recording on November 12th, 2025. These readings are activated when you click on them. They are not within a time frame, but I want you to know when it's being recorded because it's timely and it makes sense. We have the sun and we are just feeling the effects of these one after another solar flares hitting us, the emissions of the solar flare. And so we're also seeing things like the northern lights, but also having sleep problems, anxiety, feeling, maybe just a little having a misstep, right? A little skewed from your normal operating, okay? So we'll definitely, this is where we're focusing because that solar energy is, and I've talked about it in all my other readings today because it is so powerful. So powerful. So I want to go ahead. Let's think of a question. I really want to know how this solar energy and also the Schumann energy, the frequency of the earth, right, which has also been very active in these last weeks. So I want to ask the universe, how is this solar energy going to kind of forge a way forward for us? And what does that look like? Okay. How is this going to, how's the solar energy going to affect us going? I know this is handwriting for myself. I have 4 different handwritings, and sometimes I switch up mid-sentence, so I'm full serial killer vibes. In the next week. Okay, in the next week after you have activated this reading by watching it. Okay, so we're going to put that over here. This is kind of our question, a little bit of our intention for the universe. Okay, I'll set that there. So we're starting with the sun. Now, I want to we'll put this over here with it too. Okay, now we're going to start with one line here. So we have the Queen of Discs, or the Queen of Coins, Pentacles. This is the Earth Mother. This is a very solid, foundational, building, growing, nurturing energy. This is also one, if you think about burying something that has transpired and it begins to go through its dissolution, it's falling apart, and the earth is taking in the nutrients, taking in all of the pieces and helping dissolve it, corrode that thing down, right? And so this is truly the energy of build and destroy, right? This is the balance of life for things to come forth and then to cease. And again, in the cyclic loop, really, okay? So we are working in wholeness here, okay? Towards wholeness, in wholeness. Okay, so we have the Five of Wands. Not easy, but things are going. we have the Lovers. Okay, so we are working with different elements of our life right now, right? All of these variables, it feels like they have not come easily at times. That's where that strife is, but they are coming through, right? You are getting all the things that you need. This would be like, maybe you want a career in like nail tech. You're like somebody that does nails very well. You've always loved doing it. So you went to school and you're going to get licensed because you want to do this like legit. You want to start like your own business and have a storefront and all that kind of thing. So you got to go through all of the process, right? And even though you're really good, you're talented, man, you know what you're doing, right? It's still not easy because you have to jump through all them hoops. You got to do the work. You got to get that license. You got to pay the money. You got to, wait on people and figure things out and problem solve and all the stuff. Okay. So I feel like that's where there's been a little bit of turbulence, but really things are coming together. This is the Lovers. This is all about unity, unifying those different variables, the different aspects, putting them together, making something, creating life, right? I don't necessarily mean life as in a child. It could be life as in the thing that you devote yourself to, your work, your business, your household, your children, your, whatever it is, your art. Okay, so we're there, we're getting the things together, we're working in the materia. Not that easy, but we see things for what they are. They are clearly there. This is the time. Make them moves, right? Because I see this being something that really does kind of, work in your favor. Now, I'm not ready for these. I want to keep going with these. I want to see what else. What's the next layer of this thing? Okay, indolence. So at times, really, I think getting hyper-focused on small details, you get caught up in that thing, right? You start to doubt yourself. This doesn't look right, or it doesn't, it doesn't look like the one I saw, or I don't even know. I'm trying to think of how, like, you're just finely tuning everything to the point where it becomes nothing, right? Have you ever got into cooking, right? Sometimes we can doctor the soup a little bit too much, right? We keep adding stuff and it starts to get a little too complex, a little too salty, a little too, whatever it is that you've been putting in there. And then, we start to get into the place where we're in a state of indolence, right? Which is not really paying attention, being maybe a little messy, maybe refusing to do something, whatever. Getting in your own way is what I like to think of this card. And not seeing things for what they are in their totality, right? The universe, it's all about looking at the big picture there, okay? So reminding yourself, tempering yourself towards looking at the bigger goal, looking at the bigger picture, not getting stuck on the little things, okay? Now, you are going to have to pay attention to the fine details, of course, but do not ruminate on them, because that's where you're going to have some, more strife, right? Okay, so I'm gonna, and I know I don't pull cards the way most people do. Okay, so worry. Yeah, we're just talking ourselves in from things really going the way we want them to into a state of worry. Okay, that could be from this solar energy too, right? Everything is so clearly what it is that there's no nuance or softness around the thing, right? To help make it easier to accept. So then the worrying begins. Now, things don't always stay this way, okay? They don't always stay this way. What are we going to do for the worry? Spirit, what should we do? Now we're looking at the Radiant Sun Oracle cards. Authority. Okay, so coming into your place of knowing, remembering yourself, right? This is like, I've done I'm guessing probably in the last, 10 years, I've done 5,000 readings easily. Probably more. I don't know. But I would say about 5,000 readings, personal, among friends and here on the channel. If I take off a couple of days, even like 2 days, right? 3 days, I start to forget that I know what I'm doing. Like, I'm like, how am I gonna go do a reading? What am I gonna say? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but you do. You have to remember yourself. I know, I've done this a million times, dude. I'm like totally like in my authority here because I have been working this path for quite a while. Okay, so remembering yourself, that is the biggest way to combat worry. Other than, and I'm guessing there's going to be something along this lines, but it is like being proactive, right? Authority, choice, okay? And one more, lust. Ooh, lust. So I do feel like for you to stay in the thing, there needs to be the perception of choice, of options, of like, I'm involved in this thing. I'm part of growing it. I'm part of, making it what it is. For you, you're not like the type of person that's good at going into a situation where everything is chosen for you. Like, okay, this is like how I would like to kind of like it vibes with me is when I was looking at properties and houses a few years ago when we bought our first house, which I'm thankful for. Not bragging, I'm very thankful. I have been poor most of my life. So, I mean, I don't mean poor. I mean poor, like in poverty. So it's as surprising to me as anybody else that I've ever been able to buy anything. But yeah, so you go and you're looking at houses and they're beautiful, but then you find some that are in like what they call HOAs here. These are, what are they called? Homeowners associations. Or maybe it doesn't have an HOA, but it's like a planned community, right? Like tract housing or suburbs or, these kind of houses where there's like all the same kind of ones. And you get in the neighborhood, it's like a maze. Everything looks the same. Now, I cannot for the life of me understand why somebody would live there. I mean, I do. Logically, I do. I understand. Like, you don't have to, like, think about all the stuff. It's just, it's planned. It's ready to go. You have maybe a couple options if you're lucky. But things are taken care of. You go, you lay your head down there. That's your home. You don't have to worry about all the extra stuff. I mean, that's what I assume. That's what I assume draws people in to those places. If you live somewhere like that and you like it, let me know why. Okay. I'm not trying to judge. For me, I'm like that kid that played video games. I designed my character and then I'd quit the game. I didn't care about the actual game. I wanted to design the thing. So I think for you, you're kind of similar to me where it's like, I want to live in a house where nobody's going to tell me like how to cut my lawn or if I have a lawn at all or, like I want to live the way I want to and I don't want it to be this like prescribed thing. And for you, when you get into a place where everything is like very corporate or very, very like laid out, planned out, it feels like prison. It feels like a mind killer for you. So I think having choice is the thing that keeps you in lust. It keeps you going because you're the one making the choices. You're the one that's out here like, doing this whole thing. Something for you to be proud of. Something for you to love and nourish and take care of. And so I feel like as you're in this place of like remembering yourself and how like about it you are, how dope you are, which you are, by the way. Yeah. like, it's also even heightened by the ability to choose your own course and to do the work in the way that you want to. Okay? So that's how we are going to get rid of that worrying, that ruminating, that catastrophizing. Okay? So what is the work? What is this going to look like? I want to try, let's see. We're going to see something from both. We'll do, how about this? We'll do Thoth. Yeah, Thoth, Radiant Sun, and then Thoth. Okay. Victory. Very nice. Okay. And then this one, I'm just going to, I don't know, somewhere in here. That feels right. Fulfillment. And Prince of Wands. The fiery creative energy, dude. You're just in like a place where you are like, I would be surprised if you're not starting some big project or a business or something where there's a lot of like feeling of uncertainty, but there's also like, I know how to do this. It's like you have gotten close to, maybe not mastered a skill, but you've gotten really proficient. And now you're thinking, okay, well, I really love doing this. So how can I make money with this? Or how can I make this my job? Right? Like maybe you're one of these people like myself, right? You're always learning new things. You know, you like on the weekends decided, I'm going to learn how to weld at home. You know what I mean? I'm going to teach myself how to weld. And then you decide, maybe I should go to school for this. Maybe I should go get licensed. Which, difficult work, really lucrative though, if you can get into like the right kind of welding. I'm not going to divulge too much, but like my dad was a welder. My family has a welding company, welding business somewhere. And yeah, what a life. I wish I got into welding. I don't know. I don't think I don't trust myself enough, I guess. Like, I like doing stuff like I know how to weld, just from being around it growing up and doing it myself. But for work, I don't know. That might stress me a little bit. Now my back, I don't know if my back could handle it. But anyways, I feel like, yeah, I could totally see you like start like getting into something, starting a channel, making content, doing shorts, whatever. And not only does it feel like this thing is going to be like taking off for you, you are so impassioned by it. Oh my God. I feel like, here's the other thing. There's just a lot of like sensuality. I'm not going to get too specific, but it feels like there's a lot of like lust and wanting to connect with somebody or maybe somebodies, right? I feel there's just such a rising in spirit for you in this time. And yeah, of course, this is going to be very fulfilling. It will be fulfilling. Now let's try the Hermetic. I want to see like kind of how can we maybe close this off a little bit. How can we maybe you want to take us in a different direction, but how is this solar energy going to affect us within maybe like our connections with each other? Number 1. More wands. 3 of wands. There we go. Not only do we have a strengthening of relationship, I feel that you have chosen deeply who you want to express yourself with. So I feel like there is that sensuality, there is that lust, there is that wanting to connect, and I think you're going to pursue it. I do. Now let's see. How's it going to go? 10 of Cups, success. It's all coming together, baby. It's all coming together. All. Okay, here we go. One more. Maybe my third or fourth favorite card. 8 of Pentacles. Prudence. Okay, so we have all of this lovely, lovely sensuality, connection, love, creating together, having somebody that I really do. I feel that there is a deep partnership, companionship here. And I want you to express that in all the ways, okay? But I think you also know at times we need to reel it in a little bit. We need to be aware, right? Because what feels amazing at night in the light of the moon, right? It feels like a good idea. The next morning, bright and early, you have to be able to like still make similar choices at least, right? I'm not saying like it has to be like you would be about it night, day, whatever, but I think that it has to match our heart, right? So whatever we get up to in the shadows, right? In the darkness of the thing, I feel like it's very important to make sure that that's what you would want in the morning as well. And I'm not judging, dude. Listen, I'm a nightside girl. I used to be anyways. And, you know, no judgment. I mean, do you, baby? I just feel like you're at a point here where you're working on something. And, you know, part of the, expression of that creativity is coming through in wanting to be connected with somebody else. And you already know who it is. This is an established lover, I think. I would assume. But I feel like there's like a wanting to go deeper. And I think sometimes you get caught up in this, like, if I just express more and more and more and I like really lay it on, they'll really know how deeply I want to go with them. Where I think for other people, sometimes it's just like, it's so much. Right? It's almost like that, what do they call that? Love bombing. I must be a love bomber because, and it's not intentional. I just love making people feel good and like happy and you know what I mean? So like when I'm in love, and I like to feel good. I like to be in love. I love to be in love. I'm a romantic. I don't know. I just like succumb to like swimming in the affection and all of that. And so maybe I am a love bomber because I see that I understand what it is. I understand it's like weaponized or whatever. Listen, baby, I'm too in the moment to have too many plans for this. Like, I'm just like, I love you. Hi, I love you. I feel like Ralph from The Simpsons with his little I choose you from that episode. But, you know, I feel like sometimes we have to remember, like, yo, not everybody likes that amount of attention. A good example is I'm married to a Cancer. My husband his name is Paul over at Devon Serpentero. He's a very loving person. I would say, you know, fairly sensual person, and you know, for Cancer. And you know, it makes him uncomfortable when people are too forward or familiar, or you know what I mean? Like, some people just don't like it like that all the time. I, on the other hand, bro, give me all of it. Give me all of it. You might go on, you might get blocked, or, I mean, not blocked. You're on, what is it called? Restricted? Or whatever. But, yeah, you know? But we gotta rein it in sometimes, because it gets to be too much for people. Too much. That's when you just end up with cats, like me. Cats, and projects, and gardens, and interior work. You know? So, yeah. Is that it? Is that what we got? Let's do some lucky numbers. Let's do some lucky numbers. We have number 62. Number 62. 8. 81. All right. Well, collective, my loves, my loves, my loves. I'm going to ask you if you're still here. You might not be. But if you are, I love you. Thank you for being here. What kind of stuff do you want to hear about? Like, I don't know where we're at collectively as far as, like, what are we interested in right now? I'm going into my winter slumber. So I'm just, like, really focused on my, the things that I'm studying. I'm beginning to get ready to end an operation that has been going for a few years now, which is bittersweet, but have begun to conceive of the next operation, and if you don't know what an operation is, it's a series of rituals, ceremonies, work, right? Occult work, magical work. And so I'm excited about that. I'm worried about the world. I don't know. I've really just been obsessive over learning about quantum physics and things like that, integrating some of that into my own understanding of the many realities and so on and so forth. And just how to use it to refine my magical skills and practices, honestly. But I'm just interested in, like, what do you want to hear about? What do you want to talk about? I don't know. I'm almost kind of like at a point where I want to do some maybe like personal live readings. I was thinking about how I could set that up with my sister, maybe as like the first person I do it for, because she's like me. She's not gonna hide, from nobody. She doesn't care. She's gonna say what it is. On the other hand, I don't want her to divulge too much about our personal lives, or at least our old lives. Not that there's anything to be ashamed about. I'm not ashamed, but I don't want you to know how. I don't really want you to know how in the streets I used to be. But anyways, I'm just rambling at this point. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Let me know what's going on with you if you want to share. I really appreciate all of you. And, man, these solar flares. Come on now. Let's chill out a little. All right. We'll talk soon. Bye.